Hello, Rebel GMAN Division 4D. It is Season 13, Game Week 1, Game Week 1 has just passed. This is your recappers. This is Chug Man Milk and also Lord Brainlord.
Hello, live in the studio.
We are the best recappers. I'm sure you'll love us, the 13 weeks that you have us. Although if this season extends into late March, I won't be doing the last recap or two. I shall be in a glorious Japan.
Wow.
Yeah, died.
Opening with a bombshell.
I will. I will. I'll be in Japan. I will be doing what Yukio Mishima, the famous poet, did, which is trying to incite a fascist revolt amongst army barracks, be embarrassed because no one moves to do anything, and kill
Then you'll
myself.
have to commit ritual suicide. Yeah, left in four
Yeah.
chapters, baby.
Yeah, boy. I can't wait. It should be very fun. But we are, however, here for the first week. I personally apologise for no pre-cap, but I just couldn't make it work because I had a lot to do last week and no time to spare.
We're recappers, not pre-cappers. Pre-cap, it's not a real word.
Well, the thing about the pre-cap is that it's not obligatory. It's just a lot of people do it as a sort of standard because it's nice. We did it last week or last year, but this year we didn't do it. Apologies for everyone who expected that, but hey, in that way, at least we can look.
We'll roll into this. Yeah, we can chat about the guys
Well,
now.
yeah, we are gonna. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start by looking at the teams as they are now after the game week 1, which I think is always more interesting because you can't be like, oh, this team looks amazing, then it gets a bashing in the first week, gets diced to shite, and loses all of its good players, and we're like, oh, it looks so good. Now our predictions aren't going to be based on like so many times.
This saves us from terrible predictions. Yeah.
Yeah, last year we did one, I think. Did we do two or one divisions last season?
Just do one last time. Yeah.
Yeah, we did one last time. But I know when I did the recaps before that, we like booked someone to be the top of the table. Game week 1 or pre-game week 1 because like, oh, it has a really good team. Their rookie player, like in our. I think me and Het, we had someone called Raving Raz to be our top, or one of our tops, and then he proceeded to go like 0, 1, 12.
Great. Whereas me and you, we got every single prediction right last year.
Yeah,
Even the scorers. Every single touchdown predicted.
We were like, Wolf Bark wins, and he did. He won the division.
We got that one down pretty quickly.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. We said Calcium was pretty good, and he proceeded to dice a bunch of people until like the last half of the season, which in case he lost a few. Yeah, you know what? I'm happy to be recapping another Division 4 because I think this is one of the funnest divs too.
I agree. I've been working, so it's Division 4D. So far, I've come up with a 4D La George.
Yeah.
That's as good as I've got.
And my thing that I'm saying for 4D is that this is Division 4D, and the D stands for dicks because you all have 4 dicks because you're 4 times the men of the rest of the division. And
4 dicks, 8 balls.
And this is where we imagine 8 vaginas for imagine. And this is where also we spiral into the one division that has a woman, and then therefore
We're all wrong. Yeah, we'll have to issue a retraction.
I think there are like 2, maybe 3 women in all of Rebel. One of them that I know in real life actually.
Ooh, you knowing a woman in real life.
I know. And she plays Blood Bowl, but she's also the fiance of a good friend. But she might not. She might have not even play in Rebel anymore because I know he dropped out for real life stuff. Just to do stuff. Having the online leagues weren't working for him, especially Rebel. So maybe she's gone. I hope not, but we'll see. Anyway, so that'd be sad. That'd be sad if she left and then the whole female representation of Rebel was cut by half. That would just be
instantly decimated.
Yeah, instantly. Yeah, we had a woman once. Yeah,
it was a good time.
The one woman G-Man. I know. Rel does have.
Rel's got like at least 2.
At least 2, but in Europe, the only people who play this game are reprobates, included ourselves. But we will start with the first team, Tom Bombadil's Bay Giants.
Okay, he's from Lord of the Rings, isn't he?
Yep,
that's where I know this coach from.
Yep, he is.
He's got yellow boots.
This is a season 3 team. I'm just looking at the old what's the title, the team photo. It looks a little bit sparse.
There's not as many players as you would expect for an 11-man team.
You can kind of tell this is like one of those one of those 12 teams that's been around for 3 seasons but got like smashed at some point. Because look at the team.
One hobgoblin, but it's a good hobgoblin. But yeah, I like old teams. You get more character, but this is like almost. It's like 2 players.
I mean, I like old teams, but here's also the sort of thing. I have an old team. It's now season 4, and it's Underworld. And guess what? I have 2 perms in the entire team. They're like insignificant perms, and also the whole team is like 14 players. So
that's disgusting. Whereas that Fennec Longtail Chaos Pocket, he could have played 200 games as a Chaos Dwarf team.
He could have. He's only played 5 matches and has 0 SPP. What are you doing? Right. So obviously the key players in this team are the developed players are Fenris the carrying ball centaur, Blodge sidestep break tackle, sure hand, a good piece.
As carrying ball centaurs go, that one's basically got it all apart from an agi.
Yeah, I mean I don't like ball carrying centaurs. I think I expressed this previously when we had Calcium last season 12 have ball carrying one. I was like, that's shite, and doesn't really it's not in a lot of times it just wastes a piece that could be used elsewhere. To be honest, Fenris could get like Mighty Blow or Guard or whatever and be amazing, and just, all you would say about this as a ball centaur is that the sure hands is just like, I guess, a suboptimal pick while the rest of the ball works fine, because all the skills aren't necessarily just for carrying. Like that's just
They're great generally skills, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And if a ball carrying centaur works for someone, that's perfectly fine. I'm not going to be like, that's a horrible decision. I just wouldn't do it myself.
It's definitely a controversial topic in the Chorf community.
I also would like to point out that I just said, like, I'm not going to rag on you, but I did say that I think that ball carrying centaurs are shite.
Out of the gate, player 1, hate him.
Hate him, awful man, and instantly you're going to find that someone's going to complain, like, he's saying my player is shit. No, I'm...
That hobgoblin, though, I guess he has to carry the ball because he doesn't have any hobgoblins.
Yeah, he well,
he can afford. Can he afford one? Yeah, they're not. They're less. There's no way that 90k.
No, he can get 2 if he wants. There's nothing else to replace. One assumes that maybe he had to like replace a blocker at some point. Let's just see if Kevin Roadcrosser only played 3 matches, so I guess he has been saving for a bit. He should probably buy a bench when he can. So he's got, yeah, he can buy a full 11, but maybe he's like, well, I don't need 11 yet. I'm just going to save until I can get all 12. Righto, so that's fine. He obviously has like a really good blocker in the terms of the old strength up.
Doesn't it? And yeah, he's got claw on 2, which that'll be nice one day.
They will be. Like, this is a team who can take this entire season to develop.
Yeah, that'll do fine.
I hope it does, because it does need a little bit of development. It is fine for a season, for a Div 4 team, not so fine for about a Season 3 team. But we wish Tom Bombadil all the best. I noticed the coach. I've seen Wild Bay Giant reports crop up from time to time. Couldn't say a thing about you. If you'd like to leave us a profile, what are your favourite things? What do you like to do for a romantic date? What was the best moment you've ever had on drugs? Please do let us know.
All coaches, please send us one of the
oh, please.
We'll read them out. We'd love to hear them.
Oh, absolutely. We'll do a profile of the week for every one of you. One of you can get left out because of we're already on the first episode.
That's true. Never mind.
But this is Tom Bombadil's profile. Let's say he loves long walks on the beach. He likes pina coladas in the rain. And one time he boffed a whole lot of mans in one sitting, let's say 2 grams, and went mental and chewed off a school teacher's face. So that's your profile, Tom Bombadil. Let's move on.
Swings and roundabouts,
Let's move on to Morales and his Sigmar Blood Knight Rebel. He was a human team. You love to see it.
So Morales, the ESP, that means he's got extrasensory perception.
Yes, that's his superpower. Yeah, that's his profile. He's got superpowers. It's a bit of a strange team. He only has 2 blitzers. One assumes that they've died.
This is a strange team, isn't it? Yeah, from the fact that those 2 have perms, this is the div where everyone's been like battered, gone up to div 3, been rinsed, and come down to div 4.
Almost certainly. Almost certainly. I mean, I've seen Morales' team on the thing, and it seems that he gets a bit of a kicking every so often. I will like to point out that he has 5 rerolls. Not
healthy amount of rerolls.
Yeah, not my pick. because that leads to a bit of TV inefficiency. What's more inefficient is the not block but dodge as his only double on the ogre. If it works.
Ooh, interesting choice there. He's got leader as well. So he's actually got 6 rerolls. This guy loves to reroll.
Yeah, of course.
That
You know,
catcher's got a lot of normals.
yeah. I would have picked guard on the double, honestly. But you know, to each of their own. Even nerves are still would be okay. It does have a niggle though, so although it's a bit of a star, I would probably put that in the bin.
But you need something though. This team's like this is all they've got, right? This team's
Yeah,
gone through hard times. Got some
yeah.
decent block tackle linemen, that's solid. But yeah,
That's always it's always a little
tough
bit
line.
it's a little bit sad though. Like when a human team was like a good amount of linesmen with a good amount of skills, that's when you're like, oh no, something's gone wrong here.
This isn't supposed to happen.
No.
You often get human teams where they have like one amazing catcher, and everyone else is like having to.
Yeah,
Where are those blitzes?
well, that's the thing. I played a human versus human matchup yesterday on CCL, and my team had like 3 blitzers with mighty blow, guard, stand firm. I used to have a killer as well before he died in the previous game. To bollocks, if you may ask me. Or in the game before that, I had a block guard ogre as well before he once again died to bollocks. Again,
just showing off.
yeah, I was diced both games. Nothing I could have ever done that would have stopped that. You know, because I never do bad things, and the dice are all that matters, and I can't be asked to improve upon my. Anyway, I had some really good blitzers. I think they were the core of the team. I had like a pretty good thrower because he rolled move up then edge up, but the catcher was pretty baby. He had like 2 level 5 catchers and like a level 5 thrower, and that was it. He had no levels on the blitzers, no ogre as well. And usually when you have someone who's got a lot of stuff on the thrower and the catcher, that screams they have to kind of rely on the fast scoring to score.
Yeah.
They can never get in control of the game, or they're just not mindful to try and grind and keep a blitzer free for that free up on like turn 6 so they could.
It's humans playing like elves rather than playing like orcs, I guess, isn't it?
Precise. Well, yeah, exactly. So if that's one thing I would say for Morales, when you get all the blitzers back, do try and give them the ball. I mean, but at the same time, it will take him until next game to get that. Also,
I've just had a look. He lost a blitzer and a level catcher in his first game, both dead.
Okay, well that's the thing also to point out as well. To be fair, because we are doing this as a first week cap into second week, we don't know what's happened. So maybe an amazing blitzer. And all
He was
that.
a level 1 blitzer, but
Okay,
still,
well, yeah.
it's a blitzer.
It's a blitzer, yeah.
He had like a loner MVP. Tough start to the season. Welcome to Div 4.
Welcome to Div 4. It's the Death Division. But yeah, so there's a lot to say about the team, really. It needs a bit of work, in my opinion. If I had to say something to Morales, I would say just cut the 2 team rerolls to get like 100 off the old TV. Get rid of the coach assistants and cheerleaders so you can cut another 60 off. You're not going to be playing for inducements necessarily, but you will most likely be able to like not give away stuff to teams where a lot of your skills are either going to matter nothing to them, or will just otherwise be happy to have the wizard or like a bribe to stomp you into pieces. You don't have a bench or anything. For example, if you were facing another bash team, like all that tackle was useless. Plus, with all the bloat you have, you would give away a lot to them most likely. If you gave a team like the Bal Bay Giants, and they had dirty play, and you gave them a bribe, that's just giving up a massive amount of equity for like you don't need 6 rerolls,
Yeah, you could definitely trim this team down a lot without really losing a lot.
Yeah, definitely. I wouldn't fire any of the players.
No,
really.
you can't afford to at this stage. You need to be padding up on players.
Yeah, precisely. But we'll move on now because we give Morales a nice little
pep talk.
Yeah, pep talk.
Boost him up. I love humans. They're like one of my favorite teams, so I hope it does really well.
Oh, I love humans. Yeah, I think humans are great. There's a lot they can do. I just think that despite being the vanilla team, a lot of fun, which it's the same thing of even in Age of Sigmar and 40k. I got some boxes of Imperial Guard for 40k. I Literally
Oh,
last night I bought the bunch of Empire State Troops from someone.
oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and get into tabletop.
Some Boston Smashes, paint them nice and colourfully, make us proud.
I'm gonna try to strip one. That's like a couple of them, unfortunately.
To
But
strip them.
yeah, of paint
That's
because
raunchy.
some of
Oh,
them.
right.
Nah, no, I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna see what.
Carve off the clothes.
Yeah, I'm gonna see what their schmutzers look like under all that moustache. Anyway, before
Next up.
before we get any raunchier, we now move on to old Badger 69 and the Wood Ease.
Wood Ease. It's not the most inspiring name for a team I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's kind of like having a human team and naming them the Humans.
But I guess it's also no nonsense.
Yeah, your statement of intent, we call that.
Yeah.
Well, it's a fairly standard Woody team. It doesn't really have any like dead things. Hold on, let me see if it's
It's
this.
actually got 11 players. Not bad, is it?
It does have a niggled catcher, but it is, however, pretty close to being a natural one turner. Plus,
Yeah, you'd keep that around.
You need one push to get that, so one push to get that over the line. So it has an amazing War Dancer with the Mighty Blow Tackle and Dauntless. So he has
And a decent sacker as well with a little pro for the built-in sack reroll.
Yeah, I mean, pro's alright at a point, but I do think that just getting like doubling up on tackle is better.
I think probably, but you do often find you have to use the reroll on the leap, and then you get the block, and it's not what you want. It is nice to have pro for that. I can definitely see the reasoning.
Yeah, it is. Although, like, I've definitely seen situations where someone who's like pro something called War Dancer just being like, and pro getting you into trouble. So as long as he uses that sparingly, that's fine. He does have a star catcher, but here's something I don't like. He has two throwers.
Yeah, they're expensive, aren't they? I don't mind 2 on the pros, and they're only 10k more, but 90k for what is essentially a lineman is a. I mean, obviously, I do like one throw, and I like the safe throw. It's good you can actually throw when you've got a safe throw.
Yeah, I mean, I would have probably picked dodge over that.
I think with the wood throw, I think dodge get value out of that. Yeah, using more of a close range, nipping in, getting the ball, getting out.
Yeah, and once again, obviously passing's fun. I like passing on the pro elves, but the problem is that, as we know, sometimes passing isn't the best because the
I mean, yeah, pro elves are rubbish and they have to pass, but
Yeah.
wood elves don't need to because they're a good team.
They're fast, yeah. I mean,
I love passing, so I'm fully behind. Ping it. Well, ping it. That's a nice. You pinging the pass out. I like that.
That is good.
What is the theme? Spruce Grobbler, Okie. Don't know what's going on with this
Calvin
team.
Pine.
Calvin Pine. I'm a fan of this seemingly esoteric naming scheme.
Yeah, I think he's just kind of had like some like, oh, this is a pretty funny wood-related name, and just did that rather than like
vague wood puns.
Maybe this is like a really clever going over our heads like cologne or like that kind of thing, because we do have Calvin Pine, but
But then Spruce Grobbler, the famous South African goalkeeper.
Oh wait, yeah. I guess it's just wood puns.
I like it. I like the lack of overall theme.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, it's better than what I do, which is just music titles, track titles. But right, this is a second season roughly. It might be 2 seasons. I think it
looks like completely fine, doesn't it? Yeah. No team is going to be completely safe against it, but there's nothing that anyone will be super terrified of.
Yeah, no.
It's kind of what you expect.
Yeah.
Wood team, isn't it?
A fine team all around, really. Next, we have the fun team. One of the fun teams.
Hey.
We actually have 3 fun teams, really, and that's Goblins. And I'd love to be like, oh, this is an amazing Goblin team. I love it, but it's kind of nothing.
It's got like 4 level ups or something.
It has guard, troll, guard, break tackle. It has a dirty player Goblin, which is cool.
That's a good Goblin, isn't it? You got guard on the trolls, and but I mean, I guess you're playing for the other stuff for this kind of team. You don't want like a super Goblin.
In my opinion, Cthulhu Collectors built this team to be kind of like how you would expect a competitive CCL team to be, which is like you choose the Looney because he's great value and does like a lot for you in certain matchups, but you don't go all in on the star players or the secret weapons, whatever that is. But he kind of like hasn't at the same time, because he still picked up the Fanatic, even if Fnatic is relatively okay. My main concern really is that I think he should just go all out and get the bomber and get the Pogo.
I love the bomber, and I like the Pogo as well. But hey, let's see how he does. You never know. I mean, I have no idea how to review a Goblin team. They all seem like all the players are rubbish anyway.
Yeah, I mean he's picked the right thing.
Goblin is still terrible.
Yeah, he's picked the right thing with Nufflezola and all that. Like, there's not much to say about the team. We just hope that we can have some fun games. Really, I'm kind of like the worst Goblin coach because I definitely try and play in the most effective way possible, which kind of brings some of the fun away from the whole proceedings.
But it is also fun to like actually beat somebody as goblins when they're trying really hard with an actual good team.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, that's true. But like, what you give up by doing that is like you blitz with the goblins rather than the troll or like just the chainsaw every turn.
Yeah, whereas I think this guy is definitely the chainsaw every turn type. I've had a little chat with the guy. He's already racked up a kill, I believe, in his game 1.
And you love to see that. You love to see that.
That's what you want. You want goblins is a horrible wild card. In the league,
yeah.
Great addition.
Also, I have to do this because I said so before the recap. Apologies to Cthulhu the Collector for not getting back to you on what you messaged me about, like my YouTube. You will see it, of course, when I post this, but I just haven't got back to you because I forgot, and then I kept forgetting.
How we roll.
Yeah, and like when I was like, I finally remembered, because I don't check like Discord all the time. Even if it says I'm online, it's just having my phone. But when I wanted to, I was like, oh, I'll just catch you on the recap anyway. So
this is that.
Yeah, that's just that. Moving on, because the goblins have like no real skills. Let's go to Big Floor Pie or Floorpy.
I feel like it's probably Floorpy, but who knows?
Well, you know what? He's got Bloomin' Necro. Firstly, off the bat, he's got 15 people.
It's a lot of lads.
Don't really like 50. I mean, you want a big bench so you can foul, but he has also no dirty player, which is a bit disappointing. So he's a little bit inflated, and especially when all these ghouls come back, who's been lost in the first game for an MMG. You know, he'll be adding about he'll be back up to 1,700. Yeah,
with one of the biggest teams in the div. It's not. Yeah, I think it is. It's quite big for what it is, isn't it? The wolves are like solid, but not exceptional.
Yeah,
got a decent white.
The main issue really of this tier, I think it doesn't have enough damage output. That could be improved by dirty player. Definitely, I think he needs a dirty player as soon as he can. Just the next skill is a dirty player, no matter what, on a zombie. Even if he gets like an MVP on a 5 out of 6 SPP one. Rather than go, oh god, I'll get block and then hope he'll level up fastish, you know, on another MVP if he goes stray. Just accept.
Looks like we've already done that a bit, yeah.
Yeah, just accept that you get dirty player. Necromantic is good for a control, but the issue with this Necromantic team is that it doesn't have a lot of guard. It has 2, which is good, but it needs a block on those flesh golems because they're victims still. It needs dirty player just to sort of systematically foul whenever it can, or feels like it will get like some quite an equity in the matchup. It does have a nice adjunct werewolf, which is always, you know, a piece that is on the rise meteorically.
I mean, yeah, I think obviously they're going to level up pretty fast compared to the rest of the team. Solid foundations, they'll be all right, I think. You got block on the zombies, which means you can fight a little bit more than it looks like, but it's not. A block zombie is hardly the talk of the town.
I mean, block zombies are good at the end of the day. It's you know, a good necromantic team doesn't want all their zombies just to have nothing on them. We've seen plenty of examples where like some guard zombie has really guard block has really saved the day or kept the position because you know now all knockdowns are 55% rather than 75. But nevertheless, you know this team could do a little bit of trimming, a little bit of optimizing. Otherwise, it's okay. It'll do a job, I think. It can.
It's certainly okay. Is this the one season team?
Yeah, it's just the one season thus far. But of course, when this develops and gets Mighty Blow and the Flesh Golems come into their own, that's really when these teams start to shine.
Absolutely.
So, moving on now. We'll go on to Nurgle. Yoppa has made Chernobyl. And, yeah, it's a pretty solid team all in all for a Nurgle team in its first season.
This is one season. That is impressive. This is Those Nurgle Warriors, man, they're looking tasty already.
Nurgle Warriors are tasty. The Beast of Nurgle was phenomenal with block. When you get stand firm, it'll be just stunning.
Just disgusting.
Also,
Truly vile.
also, hats off to Yopa for choosing the right decision on the double of block rather than going claw like most people would be like oh, I got claw mighty blow, and then just having the Beast of Nurgle eat shit every time it really stupids or 1 in 9s and kills itself.
Yeah, well done there. Having block on it's fantastic, really.
Yeah, it's stunningly good. He's obviously gone for the build the Nurgle Warriors into block mighty blow claw. I like guard on the Nurgle Warriors even if it levels them up like less. And also they have this less edge and less movement for the touchdown, so it's not like Chaos Warriors who can hold off on that and still get the handoffs. So
yeah, it's slow going with these guys either way.
Yeah, he's one of the higher strength pieces, higher strength teams in the div, so he won't be punished at all for going light on the old guard, and that's fine. But there are matchups where he could get shown up. One of them being, I think, he could get in trouble if he has to face a heavily guarded Chaos Heroic team. I don't think those exist in this div, but if they did, wouldn't be great.
Yeah, I think he's got a decent div, because he doesn't have any claw, he doesn't have a huge damage output, but he's got very solid sort of brawling potential. He'd go toe-to-toe with anybody.
Yeah, and although Yopa's had a not such great start in terms of his record, and obviously Nurgle's hard to play with first off, unless you're playing in a div which is catered to Nurgle. Alternatively,
yeah, I think you got to expect that, haven't you, from Nurgle? But it looks like he's been focusing on the development and done very well with that.
Yeah, he has like a carrier in the making. That piece should get like sure hands or 2 heads next. And then with the Blodge, Pestigore, claw on the Mighty Blow one. It's
Gishgors. Yeah, I think this looks surprisingly good.
Oh yeah, it's very good.
Healthy looking for a Chernobyl Nurgle team.
So we'll move on from that now, because it's fairly straightforward. Onto the High Elves.
More lovely elves.
Who are coached by Pinosaurus, and pretty good but pretty busted in certain areas.
Which is quite healthy in that sense. Lots of greens and lots of reds. You've got you see a weird amount of strength up throwers, and it's so like, what do? You have to take the strength, then you've got like this weird. What do you do with him? Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, like it's great for playing both sides of the old what's the name? Both sides of the actual game, so it's offensive and defensive.
Yeah.
Although the thrower being niggled means that that's not so good. Instead, it's just there to kind of be protected in case someone managed to get into the back line and therefore would have to get another assist in. This is a bit of I just think the big issue really of the team is that it has taken 1 or 2 annoying busts. Like, not game ending, although I think a niggle even on a strength up piece would probably make me think twice about having it. Just because strength up is something where it has better active value than passive, really, in either 1 being there in the scrum to protect things, or 2, well, I don't know. What I mean is, strength has great passive and active, but when you have strength up, you want it to be more active than anything. Now,
and he doesn't have block or dodge as well.
Yeah,
it's really going to highlight that.
Precisely. So the issue is now the strength does have the passive value of protecting the niggle a bit more, but you can't do as much active stuff with that thrower, rather than just hope that people don't roll that many knockdowns on you. And if a High Elf's game falls apart like it is liable to do with any elf team, as soon as that gets someone gets a hit, let's say it's a Mighty Blow Pestigore on the other team you just saw, gets a buddy in for an assist and gets the blitz, that thing is in serious trouble.
Absolutely. Otherwise, I mean, the movement bust on the catcher, I think that's all right. That's a nice catcher. It's a good sacking piece.
Yeah, I'd keep it still, yeah.
I'd definitely keep that guy. He's got a blood step catcher, very healthy. The blitzers, he's got an armor bust, which is annoying, but movement, which is nice, and they're all blodge, they're all fine, I think.
Yeah, I
and
mean, the armor bust isn't massive, I think, on the blitzer. You want it to be healthy, but it's got blodge. Blitzers on the high elf team don't function in the same way as the pro elf blitzers, where you want them to be in the fight and therefore don't want to give them the armor bust.
Yeah, they don't need to be the guys that take the hits. Yeah, you've got plenty of linemen who can get hit in the face. But also, wrestle Agi up. That guy, he's only 4 SPP away from becoming a secondary sacking threat. That's very nice.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean,
you got your kicker. Yeah, this is pretty good. I think. Yeah, it's right. Like you say, a few busts, and it's fairly expensive, I guess, for what it is. With that thrower, it's worth a lot of money.
It's also worth pointing out that it's these elves have taken security gate to stop riots and pitch invasions, rather than a wizard pitch,
Okay.
which is a smart idea. I'd like wizards on the Skaven team. I really do, because with wizards on the Skaven team,
I have a wizard stadium with my pro elves as well. I love it.
I think, well, it does bite you in the arse. Like, if...
Oh, absolutely. I say I love it. He's basically terrible and costs me games all the time.
Oh, God,
hey.
I mean, yeah. I mean, with my Skaven team, it's like, when I give someone that, and maybe I've won the first half, and then I've completely just fallen apart in the second, so it's going to be a 1-1 most likely, because my opponents won't let me score back. I'm like, okay, he can have the 8 turns, whatever, bosh. Then on turn 8, he'll, like, still have the wizard, because he's never had a chance to use it. And then he just bolts the 1 turn and hopes it dies.
Yeah, lovely, very expensive. And I can definitely, especially because this guy, his sackers are the more developed pieces. He's got a decent sacker and one on the way, so you don't need the wizard as much, and you probably want it to, having the security gate boost the other sides of your game a little bit more. Makes sense. I think that's smart.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So, good team. Right decision on the the stadium. So we'll now move on, I think, now to the Kislev Circus.
Oh, another fun one. I love this.
Yes, I love Kislev, even if Kislev don't love me. I think Kislev.
I just never want to play them, but I love to watch them.
I've played them, and they are fun. The issue really is that you got to play them like a human team. They aren't like, if you play them just bounce, 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 ha ha ha. You realize, oh, these are shite, and you'll frequently get yourself in a position that's unrecoverable. The first few games as well is like hard to weather, but also
Yes.
they have the same issue as human teams, where they'll get to a point in the higher TVs where it's like they're just less effective against a lot of things. Now leap and long legs, and just the constant sacking threat as well, plus the Edge 4 makes them better than a lot of humans teams for being relevant in the later TVs still. That's been proven by Hindus and that. But, they do have their issues. This team has had a season at least to develop, which is good. And it's looking okay.
I think...
Okay.
You've got... there's nothing, again, nothing amazing, but you've got a hitter. Well, you've only got 2 blitzers, which I guess keeps the TV down. I think that's fine. No need to get another one until you've developed John Grayson a bit. Guard catcher and blodge, that's really nice. Everyone really loves... I mean, guard catcher is like one of the key parts of Kislev, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Block on the bear, block guard bear is very nice, and you've already got a wrestle strip guy.
Yeah, the only issue, the team's all right, and the team is in a position where it can get results. The issue is that it's not that impressive, and it's still quite bloaty, which is always the Kislev issue.
Yeah, it's 1650, and it's got it doesn't feel like a 1650 team in that sense, but that's just how Kislev are. And it's getting there. It'll be, all the development now will be quite cost effective, building on the base of what you've got.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I would mention to...
he's 30 over bank as well, so he's actually only 1620.
Yeah, but one thing I mention to Dundalars is that in a league setting, I really prefer the setup with Kislev where you just have 2 catchers, and then you just really go hard on the blitzers when you can. You want... Every time you get a blitzer to blodge, you get another one, really.
I think, you add them slowly, don't you? But you do want to add them.
Yeah, there is a big issue, the perilous warning to anyone who plays Kislev. If you go catch centric, you might get results in the early TVs, but it will fall apart eventually. When you lose a catcher, obviously you want to make sure you have 2, so you can always do the 2-turner really easy. But you will find yourself getting into lots and lots more issues if those blitzers could lag behind, because all you're doing are 2 turns of catches. And that's easy to fall into, because a lot of the times Kislev want to be on defense, so you want to do the 2-turners, and it'll kind of mess you up. Think about more 8-turn grinds if you can, to make sure the blitzer gets a handoff at the end of it.
I think now you've got all your catchers obliged. They're done. Leave them alone. Just focus on the blitzers, and even people like Chopper Harris get some lineman levels. But definitely the catchers are sorted out. They don't need NSPV. You need to get it on the blitzers from here, I would say. But it's solid. It can, like you say, it can win games. It can have fun.
Yeah, of course. So we love to see it. Best luck to Kislev. I do like Kislev a lot. I think they are a lot more competitive than people think. A lot of people see Kislev in the same vein as Vampires or Underworld, where it's like, oh, they can't win any games. Oh, they're just there for the fun factor. When in reality, they have a gimmick, and the gimmick is like kind of bad, because it's just not as effective or as efficient as something like, you know, Woody's or Chorf's. But they're still they have something. You just have to play them a bit more optimally.
And I think that again, this is not the most hostile division. They've got a few games they should do pretty well in.
Yeah, they'll love to fight. They'll be okay against Wood Elves ish. I say ish. Humans aren't terrible for them. They could do a job against High Elves because, you know, not a lot of sure hands on those teams. Apart from humans.
I think elves do not enjoy playing Kislev too much.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Nor do goblins. Strength 2 ball carriers. They'll have a bad time.
Well, yeah. I didn't want to even mention that, but the goblins should have a terrible time against every one of these teams. Now, the next team we're going to look at is the Vampires, coached by James
Your
Jenks.
friend, James Jenks 92.
I wouldn't say
coaches.
I wouldn't say James is my friend because he really messed me up in UK BBL. I'll never forgive him. But yeah, he is.
Oh, your rival.
Rival. But yeah, I do know James. James is a lovely bloke.
Is he really 92 years old?
He is 92. Yeah, he is 92 years old. Or that might actually be his height in feet because apparently he's really tall.
Imagine being 92 feet tall.
Yeah, Paul Bunyan. He's just Paul Bunyan of Blood Bowl. He's a good guy. Like him very much. So he's also like one of the only people that I recognise and know in this entire division. So it's not.
Yeah, a lot of new coaches for me too. I've seen this guy around. He lurks the same Twitch channels I do. That's about my knowledge of him.
Aye, yep, he does. He does the old. He's in the old Darvid chat and all that. And he actually has quite a nice team. 4 Blodge Vampires, including a Strength Up one. He's got Pro one of those Vampires. Healthy amount of thralls. 15 is actually quite 15 men. Fine for Vampires.
Team, but yeah, they like it, don't they? They love to have spare thralls.
Oh, absolutely. Also, McNaughton love Calcium Kaz's wife.
Couldn't help but notice that.
Wow.
Just shut in with a bunch of like default names.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Love that. And it is in fact true. McNaughton loved Calcium Kaz's wife. Calcium, one of our alumni from the previous recaps.
Yeah, who's now in my div this season.
Yeah, I mean,
Can't shake the guy.
But can't wait for him to stomp on your players and then say mean things and say bad luck, get fucked, and then you're like, oh.
He's literally gonna bully me.
Oh yeah, I hope he does. He's like, this is for the recaps last year, you bastard. But yeah, James Jenks is a very solid team.
Nice spread of skills on the thralls. You got a wrestle tackle guy, dirty player, sure hands, so the vampires don't have to sully themselves bending down to pick up the ball.
Yeah, he has a lot of things. I mean, he does need a mighty blow vampire or like something like that. I do think he needs to kill a vampire at some point when he can.
Would Count Fester, would he get that job?
No, because
strength 5 is too much strength, isn't it?
You could give him mighty blow. It wouldn't be horrible to be honest, because he might be the kind of person to go into any cage where you can like get hit in the gaze off and just 2-die no matter what. But I would think about getting someone like Conrad or Pavel, I guess that would be, in fake Polish, or even build Norman into being a killer because you want
Duke Norman.
The problem with the vampire with the strength up is that if you want to make him to a true killer and give him like mighty blow, tackle, and piling on, then you're putting strength 5 on the floor and that 8 armor. That's horrible.
Yeah. And also, there's just not enough room, is there? That's legend.
Yeah, exactly. So I'd rather just go. I think the smart thing is you do have a vampire, you give block, and you give mighty blow, and then just go like he doesn't dodge that much, and he has 4 edge, so who cares? What everything else is just plays the ball.
But 4 Blood Vampires is so solid.
Yeah,
and fine
he has a great team as well, I have to say. I think he's a very solid team for a vampire team.
It is obviously very expensive because that's the way it goes. 70-20. Biggest team we've looked at so far, I believe.
Yeah, well, I mean, technically the biggest team might still be the Necromantic. Considering, actually, no, it's Necromantic is only losing about 200 TV for this week, so it will be the biggest team.
30, yeah. But that's fine. You know, you're not going to be too worried about anything with this much strength 4, edge 4.
I really like James's team. Really depends on what you can do in second season Vamps. It could be contender, to be honest. I mean, it
It's
depends
a
on.
weird division. There's a weird spread of teams. Vampires could do all right.
James is a good coach. I will say that. I mean, he started playing Blood Bowl recently-ish, like a few months ago maybe, with vampires, and even his first few games it was pretty good. I thought he was a good coach. He had a lot of the vampire thing done like down intuitively. So although it's obviously crazy to say vampires knowing what they are and how they can implode to be like a decent shot for the playoffs or Challenger Cup, wouldn't put it past James to be up there. I mean, his record isn't obviously stunningly amazing, but it's also worth pointing out that he played Greenhorn. He had his first seat, or maybe he didn't even play Greenhorn. I'm not sure. But
He hasn't lost in his last 5.
yeah, so he's probably going to do pretty well.
Good. He's already beaten someone in this div in a previous match as well. So
right, yeah. So his game was 2-2 against the High Elves. Just to be fair, it's probably a decently harder matchup because he has one short hands, but.
And I think they'll both be happy with that sort of game. I think.
Yeah, it's also worth pointing out that a lot of his losses happened at the beginning of his run.
When he's got literally no skills, and
he lost the two of his Greenhorn games. So, you know what, James in terms of form looks pretty good.
Yeah, I think one to watch for sure. Everyone's gonna be wary about this team with justification.
Yeah, vampires are good. We'll move on now to Laserbrum's Eternal Believers, a Chaos team. So we do have a Chaos team in the div. And it's decently solid. It doesn't have a killer yet. It has one that's like almost there. He needs to get one more Kaz to be the claw piece. But it has a lot of strength up, which is always annoying because when that team develops, it's like, oh well, it's just like a Saurus team, isn't it?
Yeah, 2 dodge, 2 strength ups. I mean, it's nothing special now, but it's got great foundations to be a real monster.
I will say one thing which I've noticed, and because he's being told on. He had a tackle first beastman. Paganus was tackle first.
Oh yeah, our favorite.
We hate tackle first. We hate
classic Rebel pieces.
I hate it so much. Don't do that. Why do people do this? I know it's like, oh, I have elves. I should pick wrestle. Pick wrestle because it's still the same chance for knockdown.
It's as good, except it's also better.
Yeah, because you can't turn yourself over. Oh my god, tackle first beastman. I hate it.
I believe we got the tackle first beastman in our last div killed, right?
Oh yeah, we did.
Trashing him, and he died, and it was great.
Well, no, we all in our. I think in our last div we had a tackle first ghoul, which was.
That's unacceptable.
Yeah. I think it was either we had it in this one.
It was like Crepusculum. He's having a wild season. He couldn't be held responsible for his actions.
Oh god, I saw that.
Frenzy first beastman as well. This guy lives dangerously.
Well, Frenzy first goes into Juggernaut.
He hasn't taken block first on any of his beastmen.
No, it's not great. Well, I mean, apart from the Chaos Warriors, but I will say, Frenzy into Juggernaut's fine. It really is. Like it's a fun little. Essentially becomes a Khorne Herald. If you've ever played the Khorne team, which
I'm aware of them, but I've not played them.
Khorne's great.
It makes sense, and I think it's nice to have different beastmen, right? If you're all just going to make them the same way.
Well, the
team's boring, and I'll say it's boring.
The Frenzy Jugs one, I believe, is oh god, I don't want to misattribute it to whoever was doing it prominently on Blood Bowl too early on. Obviously it's obviously a concept which exists and has probably existed for a long time. So there's no inventor.
You can't copyright a build.
You can't, even though some people do, or make fun of people who do. I'm pretty sure the Sage has quote unquote gotten a bit of nonsense for not copyrighting, but being like, oh, I had this build that I came up with, and it's like, no, someone came up with that when CRP.
It's all been done before. Nothing new under the sun.
Yeah, but I think the whole Frenzy Juggernaut thing is like a Fashbinder thing from the old days. And,
aware of this guy.
Yeah, Darvo does it a bit, or has done that a bit. I'm not sure. I don't want to say this was definitely invented, but it's a common thing. People do that. But then he rolled a double and was like, oh, well, let's say
I'm taking Dutch.
I might have turned it down a double, to be honest, and just gone for the Juggernaut because it's not. Frenzy Dodge is a bit useless.
Frenzy Dodge it's a weird combo, but hey, maybe I'll get some fun out of it. Blodge Curse Warrior is nice. The 2 strength ups are great. And it looks like he's doing pretty well. He's racked up a fair few wins in his time.
615 for 615 for like decently
Rookie
rookie
chaos, man.
is fine.
Yeah.
Uh,
Not killed anybody yet though. What a wimp.
I know. This is clearly control chaos, as you can see from the strength up and frenzy. Controls the pitch, doesn't kill.
My prediction is he will kill someone this season.
We can only hope so. Maybe by surfing them off the pitch.
Or maybe with that tackle first baseman catching a dodger.
God, I hate it so much. I really he has wrestle now, so like, oh, that's cool. But it's like it's a kind of shame that people would have, like when someone actually.
It's always everyone will always know.
I mean, have you ever noticed when someone's like done piling on first, either on purpose or by accident, and it's like, oh god.
It's just a stain. You can't scrub it out.
No, you really can't. The next team though, bareback elfing. Brilliant. Right, sir. Alma Forever. He has some pretty nice pieces. This might be potentially the team of the division.
It's also the first ever Dark Elf team that isn't quite boring.
I know. He has a strength up, move up on a blitzer, move up, blodge on another one. The other ones all have blodge, and then the witch elves, the creme de la creme. Jugs wrestle, and mighty blow block. Like, my god, this is only missing an edge up, and it's like amazing for a season 1 team.
1 season team, 7-4-3 as well, great record. And yeah, I mean, it's got everything it wants already, really, doesn't it? It's just gonna have fun from now on.
And the record's good. Like, it's obviously not like stunningly amazing. 7-4-3 is like something you would consider starting in the CCL, but in the league, pretty damn good. Every season's a new one, and the development is brilliant. Also has quite a few names that we recognise from.
Bernie Buffon, I recognise that boy.
We know Hawker, who is, I think, one of the captains for Team Wales in tabletop. Jim Sardonic, I believe, is an admin for the CCL. Yeah, this guy obviously knows people from somewhere.
He's in the community, isn't he?
He's in the community.
The 8448, man, that's what a piece.
Yeah, no, it's great.
Just block, and it's just going to level up quickly and have a great time.
It's like a non-shit vampire, if I do.
Yeah, it's what a vampire wishes it was.
Yeah, precisely. So good
and
piece.
Jugs Wrestle, man, this is I like this team.
Yeah, it's very good.
I always like Dark Elf teams, but they are always super boring, and this is nice to see one that's exciting.
Christ, remember how the Alfheim art? Was it the Alfheim artist or was it the other one? The one by racial sensitivity.
He's also my div now again.
Oh
Just
yeah.
sort of run for.
But like those teams, one of those teams had just like all like blood side step. And it's just like, oh, this is.
It's like, yeah, very effective, but what do you say about it apart from this looks like a extremely normal Dark Elf team.
It's a team that rolled nothing.
So yeah, thumbs up, and I like the W. All about the win.
All about the win. All about the win. So if we had to say, I'd say Alma Forever. Sorry, I just.
You're not even gonna look at the next 3 teams. This is the best guy.
This is gonna win quite a bit. But we do have Zons as our next one. Okay, Gorilla is spelt wrong.
Didn't want to.
So I do want to point that out.
Gorilla or Gorilla. I don't know how you're even saying that.
But despite the fact that this person has spelt that wrong, maybe he couldn't get the right name because it was like already being sat on.
Yeah, I mean, I think. Yeah, someone would have thought of that before him. But then you can copyright a team name.
Well, just go Gorilla Girls REBBL. Don't just spell it wrong. Don't spell it wrong, please.
But also, misspelled team names are a REBBL staple.
I do want to say something. So this is another tangent. But I was at work and I was messaging one of the councils up in London about trying to get something from get an address for an interview for one of our candidates, and they spelt my name wrong. So my email has an email signature which is right. It has my full name.
Chugman Milk.
Chugman Milk, yeah. So it's like hi, Chugman Milk here. Here, can we please have the address? We've waited for like 8 hours and you haven't given us the address. We keep asking when's the address? Where's the address? And you keep saying something completely unrelated. And the guy finally comes back to me like in the night time. I don't read the emails at night. My colleague does that because I don't know, he has no life. And he responded back with he just got my name completely wrong, and like it's right there. It's like, for example, it's so I can't believe people. I don't know. In this day and age, please just look at the email signature and
It's
get it
written
right.
there. Oh, hi, Chip Moon Man. Like, no.
Chig Moon Man. I do like the idea that's like that Chig Moon Man is yeah, Chug Milk is in fact my professional name.
It's your real, everyone's rebel name is their real life name, right?
Oh, absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
And we've got Abnorman. That seems like an absolutely real name to me for a human being.
Precisely. It's obviously for what his spelling mistakes and his terrible grammar or whatever, terrible syntax I think it would be. He makes up for him in being good at Blood Bowl. 7-2-3 is pretty good, even if
Good record.
Even if Zon's are strong to begin with. The team is not that inspiring, even with the strength up.
But it's lean and mean, isn't it? It's 13-20, and it's got everything you want really, which is dodge on all your players.
He does have 2 doubles as well, and the 2 guards. You know, like that's the thing about Zons is that when they get the doubles, it's just very boring doubles like guard. Like, oh, that's guard.
If you just take guard and maybe stand firm if you get a second one.
Precisely, yeah. Or even Mighty Blow if you like. That's you're kind of person who gains equity and advantage in the match just by trying to mass block into removals.
Actually, yeah, Amazons and my div, they're all Mighty Blow for the doubles. He likes to hit things, which is absolutely fair enough.
It's fair. It's fair enough.
Especially early doors, you can brawl with basically anybody with Amazons, so why not?
Yeah, it's not a horrible idea. I do think God's better because as the team scales, it'll get worse and worse and worse.
I think long term you need that guard, or you just need loads of freaky stat ups, which is what the one in my div has.
Also,
but strength up's nice and on a blitzer as well. It's often again, if you get on the thrower, it's like it's basically good, but.
You know what? I don't like the thrower. I think it's okay in like a league, to be honest. But like I still just had the 2 catches and one of the catches carries. Don't know why. It's like the thrower just feels like don't like.
Because you're not gonna throw the ball with Edge 3 pass, are you?
Yeah.
So it's just like you can take. It doesn't start with sure hands. So you put sure hands on anyone if you want that. But at the same time, I guess it isn't. It also isn't really worse because everybody is the same player.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's kind of like whatever, but the Agi access is nice. You can get the sidestep, which makes a decent difference, I guess.
It does. So it's an alright, it's a good team. I think that Abnorman could do pretty well this season.
Yeah, definitely.
We have to look at obviously what's happened in the first game week, and if he's taken a loss, and if anyone's watching from my end, which you all are, you will see that I've kind of spoiled it already by flicking through the tabs incessantly.
We'll come to that in a minute, but yeah, it looks like. Yeah, not what I expected, but hey, things happen. But I think this is like a fairly lean, meaty team, which will give a lot of the other teams in this div
a lot of issues,
a lot of problems. Yeah.
Our next team that we do go on to will be Zed's Backslick Boys.
The Backslick Boys, I like that.
This is a team that's had less than half of a season, or about half of a season maybe.
It's very bright yellow and orange. That doesn't look so hot on my screen. Good record though for only 8 games.
Yeah. Yes. 5-2-1's great. His team's is decently developed. There are 1-2 things I'm like, which is like I think the white tackle should have Mighty Blow first, maybe, but it's so close to Mighty Blow that who cares?
And plus, in this division, there's a fair amount of dodge, so I think it's actually not going to be too awful. But you never know.
He hasn't chosen a tackle first goal, so hats off.
He won that one.
He does, I think, need a bit of old sturdy player thrown into there, but at the same time, maybe he just
a lot of block zombies in this div.
Well, it's at the end of the day, if you look at his team, there's a lot of pieces with blocks, so he will never be worried about the 1 and 9, and 1 and 9s against him are a-okay. So solid team-ish. Obviously, it's still uninspiring because there's no ultra cool werewolf who's amazing.
This is the guy that our friend Cthulhu, a friend of the show, Cthulhu Collector, killed Morlock Remus's predecessor in Game 1. So he's had to come up with a fresh wolf. And the other one, it's Blodge, is fine, but yeah, it's not super yet. But it's only a game or 2 away from becoming super.
Do we know what that werewolf previously was?
I think it was worse because when he messaged me, he said he killed a wolf but the wrong one. So I think he was trying to kill white men, which makes me think that the other one was probably only block or something. Maybe not even that good.
Yeah, well, I'm going to take your word for it. I might have a little nose halfway
I can have a look now. I'll do my special powers. It was a 3 SPP Wolf.
Oh, who cares? Yeah.
Grolak the Howler. So,
Yeah.
not a great loss, but 3 SPP is annoying when you're trying to get that first level. It feels
Yeah.
like a kick in the teeth.
And the problem is, like, it does set you back, even if it looks like it hasn't dented his bank too bad. He probably was already, like, in the money. It's still, like, I just don't like the idea that you could death spiral. Like, if you lost that wolf again, then...
But he has spread this, like, he put 2 touchdowns on a white last game. He's spreading the SPP around, getting that first level on a lot of players, so that he's not too vulnerable to any one piece dying, which is fine.
Absolutely.
I think it's the right way to do it when you're playing, 8 games less than everybody else in the div.
Of course, yeah. And we now move on to the last team to recap, because I think that's very straightforward with the Necromantic team. Chaos, Warriors of Coney Island. And nice to get this guy's a proper theme, which I like. And I like the Warriors. Warriors was a great movie.
And I've got to say, I had a look at this team. I want to take a special moment. If you look, Ajax, Snow, Cleon, Swan, those are the best 4 Warriors, and he's made them the Warriors. I like that attention to detail.
I like that, yeah.
And Cowboy, he was a liability on the Minotaur.
He was, yeah, he was.
Very appropriate.
Now he's been arrested by an undercover police officer. He harassed. Well, that was Cowboy, right? It was Cowboy got.
No, it's Ajax who gets arrested. Cowboy's the guy who comes along with him and just gets knocked out immediately.
Oh right, yeah, oh yeah, oh wait, yeah, oh yes, of course. I was getting Ajax mixed up. Ajax, I suppose it would be. Or...
They call him Ajax, but I believe it's because they're just dumb New Yorkers. They don't know how to say names.
Yeah, they're like Ajax, and they're like Worcestershire and fucking. Honestly, America should be killed.
I know who Rhino is. I mean, I've watched the Warriors film many a time. Rhino.
It's entirely possible that Logix has, because there's not a lot of Warriors, is there? Has either gotten extra characters from the game if there were a Rhino from the game.
There was Mercy's that's the woman that hangs out with the guys. Ash is from the game only.
Yeah, and it's even possible that there's also a book where it was originally based on.
Oh yeah, not read that book, but
well, the book. The book is very. I'm assuming, and this is my assumption. The book is very much like American Psycho. The book is to the film, where like the actual like book of the Warriors is a bit different. It's kind of much more like grim and a bit more like depressing.
The book of American Psycho is kind of rubbish. It's not rubbish. The film is better, I think.
I think that what the film does is really quite cool. I think how concise it is, and obviously Christian Bale is amazing, and all the decisions that made into it, and I think it's really
definitely much tighter and punchier or whatever.
I like the book. I do, although the book is disgusting. Like it's really hard reading.
There's actually a chapter I had to skip through with that kid. Like couldn't read that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The kid, like he stabs the kid and he's like, when the kid dies.
I just don't want to read this bit. There's also a lot of descriptions of clothes.
Oh, and all
every time it's a full paragraph of everything they're wearing.
Oh yeah, well that's good. I mean, I love that because of what it is, even if it's quite simple.
It's important to them, but they all It's like,
the worst ones are like the horrible scenes where like he cut someone's clothes off with like a knife, and then he's like gone a bit too like excited, so he's actually going to cut a nipple off, and it's grim. It's really
it's very grim.
I'd like to point out that I've at least once or twice like been on the train reading this from like coming back from a night out in Oxford, and like been on a clear come down, just been looking at this like while having no dopamine in my brain, being like, this is horrible.
That's a bad read for that.
Bad read. I've been on the bus home, being like, oh no, this is horrible.
Well, so we distracted ourselves there. Thinking about the Warriors instead, but a much lovelier film.
Yeah, much more lovelier than Burke. Yeah.
We'll have a lovely time.
So one thing to point out that I spit on Logix for is he has picked a tackle first beastman. Stop fucking doing this.
Why is it only beastman? No other team just tackle first. They have to do it. He's probably the first guy who got a level up on his team. Like, right, finally we can get tackle first on this guy.
Now, one assumes that he had that level up from last season, and he ran into the Wood Elves at the first game and went, oh, I will pick tackle first. No. No. I'd much rather someone take like frenzy first than tackle first. I just think it's garbo. It's really bad.
He has a wrestle first, which is fine. Dodge first, fine. Mighty blow first, solid.
Yeah.
Tackle first, not so hot.
I will say though, Cowboy with the block is actually pretty damn nice.
Yeah, Block Claw, Mighty Blow. That's good, man. That's who you want to be doing your blitzing with, really, isn't it?
And being 5-1-2, I do think that Logix has come up with a pretty decent team and a pretty decent record. So we could see quite a few things from this fella here.
It's promising, isn't it? Yeah.
Quite ironically, all the last teams we saw, which were also like the least developed or like less less seasoned teams, I would say, those might be the best teams that we have in the division, bar James Jenks.
Yeah, they've done a lot with their 8 games.
So yeah, hats off really. I can't wait to look forward to the newer bloods. Because remember, I mean, back in our div, we had Rattlesnake, who we thought was going to be pretty good until we like dropped out. Because despite having like 5 games played, he had a pretty beefy team, and he had like quite a bit to do with an Orc team. And this is what it feels like with a lot of these later teams, the Dark Elves, the Amazons, the Necro, and the Chaos. Some pretty good stuff on them.
The
really.
Page 2 boys is where they're hiding the cool teams.
Yeah.
So the back of the bus.
I might even say that some of those teams might be his favourites even.
I would not be surprised to see all the Page 2 teams end up at the top half, apart from the bye-week team.
Of course.
Which I don't think it's going to do very well.
We're not going to review the 0.
I don't think is there even an actual bye? I don't think there even is a bye week, isn't it? He was just like.
I think he might just be a placeholder. Yeah. I don't think.
It's 14, isn't it? I can do maths. 554.
Yeah, definitely.
Get him out. Get out of here, Dr. Hep. You're not welcome.
Yeah. We got press gang. I think you were just like, oh, I'd like to do some more recaps as a guest star.
I got put on as like a guest before you even got assigned.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for GMAN milk.
I was kind of press gang because I was still like umming and ahhing. I was like, I do like the recaps, I really do. But I was just like, am I gonna like be really burnt out and just like constantly skip recaps? Because
you actually do all the work side of it as well. I just
I mean, it's not too bad, but I am like even in leagues, I'm like a pain in the arse to schedule with recently. And in UKBBL, which is my only other league apart from this and Clan, I keep forgetting to do what they do or they require, which is you have to upload your game to the leaderboard every time you play. I just keep not doing that. Partially like I forget, and partially because I'm like I don't want to root around after a game, which is usually like late at night.
Do some paperwork.
Yeah, like
a goddamn bureaucrat.
Why not just like sign up yourselves up to like Spike or BB2 League Manager or like or Goblin Spy rather than like use your stupid in-house bespoke leaderboard system that I have to upload to. It's really stupid. But no,
it clearly sounds not good.
I'm not gonna keep trashing UKBBL because one, I know James Jenks plays in it, so he's gonna report back to.
I'll trash it and say in your voice.
Yeah, plus also in WhatsApp, in my WhatsApp group for my London tabletop group, the guy who runs it, Gav Coleman's also in it, and then asked, are you going to come back? And I was like, yeah. So me coming back and then being like, I fucking hate the league, and it's stupid. It's really not smart, yeah. So I'm going to stop.
So yeah, anyone listening, snitches get stitches.
Yeah, snitches get stitches. I do mean stitches, because I am a Millwall fan. Don't do it. Well, I do like it, yeah, but I'm obviously... You know, whatever. But we'll go on to the what games have been played.
Scheduled tonight.
We will be doing this a bit fast. We are like over an hour already.
We got carried away reviewing these teams, so let's just smash through the results.
I will be annoyed if I run out of disk space while doing this. So let's run through this. It happened like twice last season. So the first game was the Kislev versus the
1-0,
Chaos.
6 hour breaks, 9 hour breaks. Doesn't sound like the most eventful game. Yeah, less than 30 blocks aside. 3 passes from the Kislev, I guess, knocking around between the catches. We don't need a catch PP anymore. All right, we've done that.
It's worth pointing out that that's the team that has less kill potential, but still 3 injuries inflicted from the Kislev. That's pretty immense.
Yeah, that's solid work, man.
And all 4 casualties sustained, because I'm guessing like some stupid beastman hurt itself or something.
Is there a tackle first guy? Did he 1 in 9? So I can only assume that happened.
Absolutely, but unfortunately, in this case, it seems that the Chaos take the win. So, congratulations.
Well done, lads.
Brilliant. Well, sad start for the Kislev, but we'll now move on to the second game, which is a 2-2 exciting draw between Vamps and
the Vamps in the year. We touched on this for 20 hour breaks for the Vamps. Holy moly.
Oh my god.
I've only 45 blocks, but I'm guessing there was probably
Fouls,
a
yeah.
naughty foul or two in there.
Which is good. James therefore knows what to do on the old Stompy Wompy. Although then again, look at that, £29. 12 score, £29. That is, oh well, it
It's alright,
happens.
you'd take him if you could get him.
I mean, at the end of the day, dice don't exist.
More powers than skulls and both
Oh
downs
god.
combined by a lot.
Almost as many pals as. At the same time, obviously, like if you get pal, then you get pal. You can't always be like relying on someone not to get a pal, and if someone gets a pal, then I'm very much of the realm of thoughts that the Welsh have, which is there are no dice, but that is pretty fucking mental. I must admit, that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Oh god.
So it looks like the Vamps, they went into the game with 4 and they picked up the 5th Empire after this draw.
I mean, you might as well.
Why not? He's got the 4 rerolls.
Yeah, you might as well, really. But all the Vamps are like decently developed. But they'll.
Yeah, they're of Lodge. I think it's fair to grab another one, isn't it? I think
yeah, especially if you build this one as a killer and just try and like power level it. I'm happy with that. Hypnotic Gaze failed quite a bit, which is unfortunate. Bloodlust is on point, which is good. It doesn't seem like the massive issue in terms of the armor or anything like that. Obviously, armor was slightly bad for the old Lunar Wolves.
Oh, the injury rolls for the Lunar Wolves
Was pretty pretty stunning. KOs were good though.
14-0.
KOs were good, but I assume that's like a double bait in action.
Yeah, and it's probably you only get to roll that many KOs if you're. Anyway,
I mean it's a solid start.
29-1 for injuries to the Vamps as well.
I think both would be kind of happy for that, because vampires can fall apart in a bit of an edge matchup. They can, but at the same time,
you both get 11 SUP or whatever, more than that.
But at the same time, after all those breaks, I'm sure that no Kaz, no injuries, nothing. Which it could have been like a game where Kaz and KOs and all that could have spiraled out of control for the old high elves. I'm sure they'll be fine with what happens.
Yeah, I think ultimately they'll both take it.
Yeah,
and be absolutely okay with it.
So next game, Bareback Elfing versus Maiden Chernobyl.
A 1-1.
1-1. Yep.
Would have had this down as a win if I did predictions, but 61 block. Okay, the Nurgle got a lot of blocks off.
Oh, and decent amount of KOs and injuries. This may be one of those games where don't want to say for certain, obviously, but it could be a game where the elves did their best to be aggressive, but gave away blocks either by necessity or accidentally, or by whatever, and just let themselves get beat up a bit too much. They played a bit of a trying to be too bashy in what should have been a running game.
And it can it can slip if you slip it very early, and it can just spiral before you can do anything about it. Also, pass and catch, one failure of each sounds like something went a bit wrong there.
Yeah. At least Valpyrus was okay. That's always horrible.
That's just funny, isn't it? But only 2. It's bearable.
The dodges weren't great, but you never know. Those could be a few.
Nurgle dodges were decent.
Nurgle dodges were 3 and 3. Oh, right. That could have all. He has a blodge guy, so that could have been all the dodge.
That's true, actually. It's not outrageous to dodge with a dodger, is it?
If he was dodging with like the warriors and that, then we would have something to say. Which does happen. You do see people who go mad on the old dodgers for the Nurgle warriors, but
we'll let him off. Seems alright.
Fairly unreliable. A lot of people have the first game nerves where they don't want to lose, to be honest. I mean, I'll take a draw first game.
Well, I was rusty as hell on my first game back.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gotta shake the cobwebs off. I think 2-2. That's why I got 2-2 in my first game. I think that's fine. You've scored a couple, conceded a couple. You're back in business.
I got 2-0 because I'm amazing. Honestly,
2-0.
Smashed him. He cried. Also, none of my goblins ever broke at an inopportune moment. They just they tanked all of the LOS hits apart from Bomber Dribble Snarl, and that's like the one thing you want to die.
You don't want to start off too strong though. Last season, my first game was my best game last season. Oh damn it! Oh dear. You want to start off with a draw. Just let it stay. Set your stall out. Take it easy.
Absolutely. Now our next game will be Guerrilla Girls versus Our Dog Friday. So Amazons versus Necromantic. The 18 block succeeded on the old Amazons. even if it's 2
They
injuries inflicted.
struggled.
Yeah, he struggled. Now, one assumes what happened here was maybe the Necromantic went into attack first. They removed 2 people off the line, like you can do, and then the Amazons tried to play aggressive to try and make up for the fact. So they based a lot more because they thought basing was a decent idea, and then they just got sort of still smashed about. I guess the key thing would be the pals. I mean, actually, no. I mean, the block dice went amazing for our Dog Friday. It's hard to say, really. I mean, obviously,
They're actually kind of poor.
Poor, yeah. So obviously, doesn't look like from the statistics, it's like a dicing or anything. Obviously, injuries inflicted with like no mighty blows a bit much. It is a bit much.
5's a lot, and if they came early, what can you do about that? And even a dead blodger, it's a bit painful for the Zons to take on the chin.
Yeah, but it does come back at the very least, because he brought it back, we saw, I think. So it's not horrible. Zons can grow back from a bad game quite easily. But that is a decently surprising game.
Even tackle mighty blow, White, cleaning up, got 2 cares.
Isn't that Dog Friday? He doesn't have...
He's got Oswald the Angry.
Hold on,
He's blitzing with his White.
Hold on, 1 second. Oh, yeah, no, this is the Necromantic team of the Mighty Blow. Okay. I was getting confused with the other Necromantic team. In that case, yeah, almost certainly was the tackle just went and did a lot of that. And he could have been fouling with, like, non-dirty play pieces.
Absolutely could have happened. I mean, you'd hope he was, if anything, wouldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely. So, bit of a vicious game to start out with, even if the Zons are pretty strong at that point. Tackle
good start for our Dog Friday then, man. That's a lot of SPP. 17 or something like that.
Of course, that isn't what one of the newer teams want to face, really. But what the newer teams do want to face, Backstick Boys beat the Goblins 3-0.
Which, I mean, I'm guessing Cthulhu Collector is aware that he's going to be taking some losses. But 3-0, even 3-0 is solid against Goblins.
Yeah, it is, because honestly, you could run into a situation where a Goblin team has a great first half and even scores, and then like you do maybe get the second score back, but he still has enough in the tank to kind of like go, alright, I don't want to give him a chance to do it again, because it is like, 1-1 going into 1-2.
There's only so much time in a game, yeah.
Yeah, so 3-0 was obviously pretty dominating. He does have tackle, which is quite nice. I'm assuming he must have gotten a few pops here and there. This is the ideal game to face, really. But he did get something killed, which is a bit sad.
Grolak the Howler. Grolak's not the best name I've ever heard of, so maybe not too bad.
Well, yeah, so like one of the wolves died, but brought it back, so...
Pumped up 8 and a 7 SPP on the White and the Werewolf. That's some nice development in a game, innit? You'd be happy with that.
No, absolutely. Yeah, I have no complaints about that. So, all in all, you'd pay 130k or 110k or whatever it is tax to get a nice solid start.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a nice win for him.
Our next game, sorry, our penultimate game would be the Warriors Coney Island versus the Woodies.
A 2-1 win for them. That's a nice win against Woodies, man. That's not the easiest game.
Yep. That isn't an easy game. One assumes that he managed to get quite a few removals and then probably managed to hold position quite decently. Has 2 guards, so it's not like the sack can be... He does have 2 guards, I'm thinking right. So it's not like the sack can be easy, because if you just put them on opposing corners, then boom. It's always uphill dice, even with the sack option. So, this sounds like a pretty standard game. Unfortunately, I'm guessing the Woodies, they couldn't do the thing where they pull a bash team apart and capitalise on that. Yeah,
which you'd expect doing against a Chaos team with only the 1 tackle. You would have thought they had a decent chance, but clearly wasn't to be. And yeah, 10 SPP for Snow. We'll be happy with that level up there. Which was that Dodge? I can't. Who knows? It was so long ago that we looked at his team. I'll never
Snow got no, he didn't get Dodge.
No, that was the other guys. Oh dear.
He got guard, so actually he didn't. He only had 1 guard.
Anyway, only had him 1 guard for that game. Made it count. That's a pretty nice win, man.
He leveled a 6 SPP warrior in 1 game. That is amazing.
Straight up, isn't it? Yeah. TD, Kaz, and the MVP.
Love it. You absolutely love it. So that's a good result. Our last game, Bay Giants take 2-0 victory over Sigma Blood Knights.
Two
Happens.
deaths.
2 deaths.
But one death's back on the Bio Bay. This is a bloody game.
Yeah, it does happen when you have an amazing ogre, and like a decent killer in terms of your blitzer.
Yeah, that ogre got 2 Cas, which is the kill and a perm.
I've just realised that what that juggernaut means on the old ogre is that he blitzes with that ogre probably a lot, which I think is usually no so good.
But it's fun. Dodge. This is ogre is great. I'm a fan. I
Course,
want to
yeah.
see him in action. Dodge Juggernaut Guard. You're probably the only one of those in Rebel. I'd be surprised if there was another one.
I definitely think both teams would kind of don't want to see this matchup just because it can always have the issue of a bit of a high variance removal play. And, although Tom Bombadil took a very nice win, hopefully he didn't lose anything more than just a loner.
Yeah, just Lona's died, so that's not too bad. Whereas Sigma Blood, as we said, lost a 69 SPP catcher.
Was the catcher good in any way, though, or was it just one of those ones where it's like block and it's like sprint?
He was all block, sprint, sure feet, diving tackle.
Oh, okay, well.
It's basically the other one, but without leader.
I really think those catchers should go block, then sidestep, and then diving tackle rather than having the sure feet stuff.
Yeah, because especially on both of them. Like if you get movement 9, yeah, obviously go for it. But I would have thought you get more value out of sidestep, which is a fantastic skill.
I think you'd even get more out of diving catch because when you get an accurate pass, it's pseudo edge 4, isn't it?
That's true. Yeah, you catch on the 2.
Yeah, so I would much prefer that. Nevertheless, we've said our piece about the Blood Knights, so let's not go.
He's got a new catcher to build, so maybe we'll see something else. Who knows?
That's our advice. That is our advice, Morales. But in that case, that's the end of what happened this game week. Again, we'll go through this quickly because it's now 1 hour 15, and I do want to play some CCL before I go to bed buys. Righto. So the next week's games: Eternal Believers versus Bay Giants. Eternal Believers are the less killy of the Chaos teams. They do have a Mighty Blow, but that's about it. Versus some Claw, so the Claw can do stuff even if it isn't Mighty Blow. Hard matchup to really say.
They both won their first game. Let's go for the Bay Giants.
I'm gonna say instead it's gonna be Eternal Believers. I do think they have the pieces to deal with a lot of the other pieces, and also in this matchup, Chorv struggle because Chorvs are outstrengthed and without like a bunch of blanket guards.
That's true. They don't have the guard yet. They're not tooled up for this. They do have their strength 4 hub though, so you never know.
Yeah, absolutely. You never know. You never know.
But they're probably carrying the ball on the Bull Centaur, so he's not going to be bringing strength to the line. So yeah, I think you've taught me around with your wisdom.
I mean, obviously you now look at like this team, the Bay Giants, and go, well, there is four strength, same as the old Chaos, but you have to again, 1 or 2 of those will not be used because of ball carrying. One of them is armor 7, so target and a half, rather than being a bunch of armor 9 pieces for blocking that. So yeah, I do think Eternal Believers take this, most likely.
Fair play.
Next game, Warriors Coney Island versus Sigma Blood Knights. I think this is, for me, pretty straightforward. Warriors Coney Island are well built. They have the nice amount of guard. They have the kill skills. The Minotaur will terrorize that ogre to pieces.
That'd be a good showdown, the big guy showdown. But yeah, Sigma Blood Knights, their team's got big holes in it at the moment. He's going to be a rough couple of games until he can get those blitzers back.
Yeah, so I think Warrior Coney Island do take this and win. Backslick Boys versus the Woodies. Now, this is kind of an interesting match. This is where I think Blood Bowl is at its most competitive. So both teams are about 1,400. They have 1 or 2 star players that can do quite a lot. Like the Backslick Boys will be terrorized by the fact that strip ball and all that, and the war dancers are amazing. You can even get 1 or 2 Cas here and there. That ghouls have to be very careful not being singled out, and both can. But at the same time, the Backstreet Boys do have a bit of tackle here. They have a bit of guard here. They've got a lot of block.
Yeah, I think Necro will win this.
Okay, well, I'm going to say the Woodies, because I think the War
Ooh,
Dancers are very good.
they are good word answers, but I don't know. I just feel like if the Necro get to have any hint of a scrum, they'll just put so much pain out onto these guys. He doesn't have a lot of dodge. I mean, obviously he does have 5 dodge because he's Wood Elves. He's Wood
Yeah.
Elves, sorry. But yeah, I just think they could crumble. And as a primarily elf coach, I hate playing Necro because they always beat me up. And I think I'm going to predict they're going to beat these guys up too.
I hate Necro. I do. I think they're bastards. I think Necro are just another Norse because people who play Necro do things like instant frenzy trap blitz that goes into POW, so it doesn't matter, into dodging wolf second action, that kind of thing. But I do.
That is 100% correct.
It's awful. It's horrible. But I do think the Woodies do take this just as to be a contrarian. I will say though that what is a bit of a pain in the ass is that the Woodies can't disengage and like rely on the one turner, the easy one turner, because they do have 2 stand firm pieces, the backslick boys, which I think is a big factor in this game. So you could even see like you could see a consigned 1-1 or 2-2. Because I don't think it's very likely the one turner will happen unless the Mighty Blow War Dancer manages to track down one of the Flesh Golems and just
he could make a cheeky
it.
cast, isn't he? Because they're not well developed. So, yeah, you say it's a really nicely matched game. Could be one to look out for, and we'll come revisit it and see which one of us is the prediction genius.
I would love to. Yeah, that'd be great.
As long as it's me, otherwise we'll skip over it.
Yeah, it's not going to be. Yeah, I'm smart and have a big brain. Our next game, Guerrilla Girls versus the Gobscott. Now, this is usually quite an interesting game. You might think Zon's just beat the nonsense out of Goblin. You'd be right. Like, this should be a Guerrilla Girls win 80% of the time, 70% of the time. But
they're slow in the movement 7, aren't they?
It's not even that they're slow, the girls. The girls aren't that slow. More so, I mean, they get matched by the Goblin. The key thing about the Goblin thing is there is a coin toss. It is a 50-50, obviously. And the Guerrilla Girls, imagine if the Goblins won the toss. They get obviously the inducements like fungus or an extra chainsaw and bribes, and they could very well like knock down the LOS and Kaz or remove all 3. And then
start the foul train, and yeah,
like Goblins have turn 1, and the thing is that because it's all armor 7,
it's the armor 7, isn't it? Yeah, it could really. They'll only get 290 inducements, so it won't be like a huge party. We won't be seeing like Morg or anything, but yeah, I think the Amazons will win, but I think they'll take some real donks.
Yeah, there's no altar in play, which is very sad. But you can get fungus certainly. And he's Mighty Blow, and he can roll 3 dice pretty easily, so that's pretty good. Bribes, and he has a dirty player as well, so anything that goes down gets stomped on, even with only 2 assists or something, and has good odds of like at least stunning it. So I do think that you can high roll as a Goblin, and usually a lot of matchups you'll see Goblins versus, you go like, they just lose, enjoy. But in this matchup, you can actually have a bit of decent high variance play. Good coaches with Amazons have lost or almost lost to Goblins because of that, and it's not shameful at all. It's just how the game goes sometimes.
Absolutely,
it's an interesting game. I think it's going to be a lot more fun, and a lot of recappers or a lot of people go, "Oh yeah, Amazons win." Not
Goblins, predict Goblins to lose every game, but this is probably one of their better matchups, I think, as well, isn't it?
They'll be happy with this as a game, as a second one, especially considering the Guerrilla Girls aren't in a position to have like a POM tackle juggernaut like Blitzer and just be like they win 90%
kill a Goblin every turn. Yeah.
Our next game will be Bareback Elfing versus Our Dog Friday.
Ooh,
interesting game. Another one of these, and again, this is why recapping Div 4 is fun. Like if you recap my division, right, Div 2A. You'll find like a lot of times you're like, oh, this team has a Claw Mighty Blow and lots of piling on because of Chaos team, they win. It's 2,200 Chaos versus like, I don't know, slightly less hybrid team, they lose. You might even look at my team and go, oh, they lose like 8% of the time because they're Underworld.
Because they're Underworld.
But they could kill something because they've got Claw Mighty Blow, and it gets really boring in the high TVs. But this is fun Bareback Elfing has quite a few good players. It has danger players. It has all the frenzy. It can have good pitch control, even if there is a bunch of stand firm, because he does have Juggernaut. You know, he does have a
Hell yeah!
He does
surf fleshies.
He can surf fleshies. It's really fun. This is going to be a fun matchup, and it's hard to say who could win. If I'm not getting this wrong again, the Our Dog Friday, however, is that's leveled Necromantic team, the one that's older.
He's the one. Yeah, I guess he'll be blitzing with that white Mighty Blow tackle. He's got tackle. He's got 3 tackle, which is it's gonna give problems to the Witch Elves and stuff. But this is a tough. I would say this game is more likely to go to the Elves than the other one for me.
I think the Elves, and here's why: 2 ghouls being out. Although obviously ghouls aren't necessarily the thing you must have. You can have a Necromantic starting roster without any ghouls and be fine. He is missing his primary ball carrier. He has like one. If any of the positionals get chipped in this matchup for the Necromantic, it should get really much harder every single time he loses one. The Flesh Golems, so they're like if they stay on the pitch, that's fine because they're immobile and aren't particularly good anyway.
They've got no skills. Yeah, I think this is actually, as elf matches go as Necro, this is going to be one of the harder ones.
Absolutely. So I do think I'm going to give it to the Elves. I really do. I
think I'm actually going to. Wouldn't have thought I would have predicted this, but I'm giving this one to the Elves. I think
because also he has to take a Mighty Blow, but it's armor 8, so it doesn't always break. Even if he does have the armor 7 on the Witch Elf,
he's only really got 3 players, hasn't he?
Yeah, he really does. And it's not piling on, and it's not Juggernaut, so not everything in this team is like a victim of that killer.
Yeah.
Next game. Terror-based Buccaneers versus Maiden Chernobyl. So that is Vampires versus Nurgle. Fun matchup because it's going to be everyone having to roll 2-ups. 2-ups against... well, mainly it's James rolling 2-ups versus Foul Appearance and then also against Bloodlust.
Lots of dice for James Jenks in this game. But I've got a favour him. He's got 17-20 Vamp team against a Nurgle team, which is, although it's looking good, it's basically still getting going. He's only won the 2 games.
Basically, how James loses this, I mean, there's a lot of ways you can lose this. Let's not kid ourselves, obviously, but a way that James could lose this pretty easily, even if the Nurgle team's slightly worse, is every turn the Blitz is a removal from the Mighty Blow on a Thrall. Then James removes his own Thrall the next turn by biting it. That's how it can go spiral out of control. It can because once again,
if you lose 4 Thralls in the first 3 turns or whatever, suddenly
it can.
He does have a lot of Thralls though. He does 9-10 Thralls.
The real good thing in this matchup is that James has high strength, high edge pieces. So like tentacles, not that.
Tentacles are strength 5. Yeah, doesn't care.
I mean, it obviously still has dice to roll. Like if you had like an armor, if you had like a 3 strength rotter with tentacles, it's still you can still.
Yeah. But he can hit the beast over. He's got block obviously, but he's got a lot of strength. Only the beast has got guard. He's got like a guard thrall, so he can basically fight these guys.
And the key thing is like he doesn't ever really have to hit a warrior. If he wants to break the cage, he can just hit the gaze of warrior and then punch, the pesticle or whatever.
Go straight in.
Yeah.
Strength 5 guy and smack him. Yeah.
So it's not
Vamps for me.
It's not clear cut. I think Vamps do win this though. I do think that James is a great team. Would be interesting to see what the Nurgle get in terms of inducements though.
That's what's Nurgle's inducements game like? They're normally 800 TV higher than their opponents.
I know. There's options. You could go for bribes and see if the Fallon game we're going to take.
Definitely don't hate the idea of bribes. Actually, does he have a dirty rotter?
Let's check. Let's just check.
One. He does not. He's got block rotters.
So what?
Block zombies. It's yeah.
Yeah. What he could do is induce a fouling one.
With a bribe for him.
But the main
actually get 2 bribes with him maybe.
There is a second issue though, which is all the good pieces that he'll stomp on are all blodge. So.
Getting him down in the first place.
Yeah, it could be a wasted thing, especially if a drive completely falls apart. So if we're looking in the realms of star players, you could go Lewd Grip, but that's not good. You already have a carrier you want to carry on, but you could go Lewd Grip. I think that's literally about it, unless you wanted to splurge up for Grashnak. I don't think Grashnak even plays for Nurgle. I haven't. You know what? This is.
It was pure speculation.
Well,
I don't think I've ever seen Nurgle induce a star player.
Well, the thing is that if this was Blood Bowl 2016, you would have an amazing amount of light choice. You would have a good loot grip because he has dodge. You could have double drill, who is 2 heads, wrestle, tackle. That would be amazing in this matchup, like absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
So if we're playing proper new Blood Bowl, that would be really fun. And he had a lot of options. Well, that's hopefully whenever the new one comes out, that'll be really great. But in this case, he's not really got a lot. Let me just check. So what he could do, he could get Max Spleen Ripper. He could get Lord Borak. Borak's not terrible.
But no, yeah, I think I have seen Borak actually.
Borak's good. Block, Mighty Blow. If it is a 300 different, then that's perfectly fine. He has the Mighty Blow. He has the block. He has the 5 strength to really help him. Cause right now, he doesn't. He has barely a strength advantage.
It's like 1 strength 4 or whatever, isn't it? No, actually, it's even, isn't it? They've both got 4 strength 4 and 1 strength 5.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, completely even. Yeah, completely
dead even. And obviously, he's got more block and stuff. I don't hate getting a dirty player Rotter and a bribe or 2.
You can also get Grashnak, who is 310k. You can also get Brick, Farth, and Grotty, which gives him a bit of a better chance of scoring.
That would get some strength. Yeah, he's got options. I'd be curious to see what it'll take, but I think with 300 TV on the Vampires, that's all block and dodge and useful stuff. I reckon the Vamps will win this. Maybe 3-0.
Well, bold.
I'm going for it.
I don't think I'll ever back the Vamps to be a 3-0 unless it's random boy playing, but I will say probably a Vamp win.
I had a look at he's won like a 4-0 before or something. I had a look at his history.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, of course, yeah.
4-1, 3-2, 3-3. He's lost 4-0 as well though, so
I think wild. Well, yeah, that happens with Vamp. I think I've won some blowout games before with the Underworld. I can't really. I've definitely won like games 3-0. I think I destroyed last season an elf team really horrifically. Let me just check. Yeah, 3-0 against an orc team last season. I had a 4-4 the season before, which was
4-4. What a game! God damn.
It was against Pro Elves actually. Amazing game.
Which Pro team's that?
It's one called Mirkwood Athletic. I'm not sure if Wheelie plays in the league.
I think Mirkwood. Yeah, I think he's retired now.
Yeah, a shame.
Pro Elf school. Because I'm now like the top Pro Elves in GMAN. It's awful. There's Steen with me, who's like a much better coach, so I can just hide behind him. He's the main.
Well, me and Spartacus are the highest in REBBL in Underworld. We're both Div 2. I think we're the highest out of everyone.
Has there ever been Underworld in Div 1? Has it ever happened?
No. We are matching, I believe, Carlo Sibs for the highest place. But obviously, this is before all of the changes to the Div system.
It's different now, isn't it? Well, it's basically harder now to get up, I think, isn't it? Because it's more on not how you do. Before, if you just had like a 2K team, you would drift upwards.
Oh yeah, Christorm, I have no idea. I mean, I did pretty well last season. I just missed out by like touchdown difference from the Challengers Cup. But I'm still surprised that I'm this high. I guess they're like, the team's like way too big, and he's gotten 2 good results in the last 2 seasons, barely losing at all. So we can't put him in like Div 3 and just like pound upon barely season 3 teams. Nevertheless, we're going to our last game so we don't get sidetracked. We can get sidetracked afterwards.
We're so close to the end.
Precisely. So we go on to the Kislev versus the High Elves. Gotta say, probably a High Elf victory for me. Here's
Do you reckon?
Well,
lay out your reasoning.
Lay out the reasoning. Well, it's a match TV match, but obviously the High Elves have a bunch of built-in skills and a bunch of like nice stat ups. Sorry, they have the tackle as well, so it's easy for them to score the one-turners as well. So they have that. They have the Edge 5 pieces for shenanigans. They have plenty of things to deal with. The catchers, they have a ton of stuff. Plus, they match them in the batch matchup because they do have all that A armor. So there's no clear advantage that the team has apart from there's no sure hands on the High Elves. I am right about that. There's no sure hands on the High Elves, so he could. Yeah. But the problem is like the whole leaping into a cage and knocking it out is much less effective against an Elf team because they don't typically do that.
Exactly. Yeah. They're slightly faster, and they don't tend to cage that much. And even if they do, like you're only you're both as good at picking the ball up as each other. It's not like they can't just retrieve it immediately.
And the primary ball handler that is for the high elves has strength 4 anyway. So
yes. Good luck with all that. Well, I mean, he's very vulnerable to strip and stuff.
But you'd have to either leap in the catcher, who then wastes the catcher for retrieval and passing and all that, or the slow linesman, which is a free up, which is always hellish. And you will roll the 1 and 9 when you want to do the first leap of the game. So, yeah, I think the high elves are just a better team, unfortunately. There is the Mighty Blow block on the Kislev for a bit of high variance play, but
no tackle. But high elves only got 1 tackle themselves.
Yeah, but
I think it'll be sort of a loose and messy game. I don't think it'll be that bloody, but it could be quite scory.
It won't be bloody unless every catcher dies when they get popped by the other high elf team. But
I think it's a good one to watch.
I think one to watch. I do think that it's going to be the high elves though who take it. You might disagree, but I think it's pretty clear.
I'm pretty even. I think normally I would favour Kislev in this matchup, but the way the teams are developed, I think the high elves have got a slightly nicer team. Probably just edging it, but I wouldn't be surprised by a 2-2 or like a weird 0-0 where it all just goes completely wrong and no one can get anything done.
Yeah, that could be 2-2 is not also crazy. I mean, we've kind of for every other game just been like, yep, win here, loss here, win here.
That's true. Yeah, we need a draw. This can be our draw.
This could be the draw. But I will say, with that, we have now entered the recap for the first game week, and we did it.
Thanks for stopping by, guys. Yeah. It felt good to get a look at these teams.
I'm going to because the game is not the game. The recap's so long. I will spare everyone the normal. I go into a tangent about something unrelated because I got something on the mind.
We'll save that as a bonus for our subscribers.
Oh yeah, I'll see.
Category of people I've just made up.
Please subscribe to our Patreon. For this,
we've got many tiers starting from $69.
Yeah, to get your recap, you do have to pay now from £5 a recap, so a week.
Paywall. If you subscribe to a second tier, we'll say nice things about your team.
So someone goes to Dr. Heaven goes, they're charging for their recaps. Is that normal? We get in trouble.
But yeah, it's fine. We'll slip Hep some of the money. He'll be alright with it.
Oh god, yeah. That's the Rebel works on bribery.
Yeah, sorry to reveal it, guys. It's incredibly corrupt.
You can get anywhere on a little bit of flattery. Right, so
but yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. Yeah, it's been fun to get back into it.
It is. I'd like the recaps, and I like the recaps with, of course, my trusty friend here, Lord Rainlord.
Wouldn't do it without you. Although I'm actually doing it without you. I've got a second recap.
Yeah, I know. Who are you recapping with again?
I will act quickly like I haven't forgotten his name.
Oh god, right, yeah.
What is his name on Discord?
Hold on, let me look.
Oh yeah, he's Masterful. That's not. I don't think he's actually called Masterful in the game, but who knows?
Oh, let me just check. Hold on. Hold on. Oh, so Masterful the Khemri guy is that the same guy?
Does he play Khemri?
Hold on, I want to check this because I know Masterful. Masterful's a good guy. He's like in.
He's a great. We did the pre-cap. He's an excellent guy. Had a great.
Hold on,
obviously not as great as this.
My first love. Yeah, he's compared to moi. He's pretty. Hold on, I want to know this now. Nah, this is my tangent.
this is jealousy.
Yeah.
There's some drama.
Well, here's the thing about blooming.
This is because I confirmed before you confirmed. I got paid 2 dibs by Dr. Hep.
Well, this is the blooming thing about about blooming. What's it called? Hold on, let me look. I think I got this a little bit. Well, yeah. Bungeeman, I think you're playing. No, Bungeeman's your guy, isn't he? Bungeeman.
Bungeeman subbed out.
Oh, did he? Bold. All right.
He was too busy. Bungeeman's in the div. It is Masterful. The Masterful from your div. Yeah, that's the guy.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I played Masterful. I've had him 3 seasons now. This is my 3rd. I played him this week.
Oh man.
First time, nonsense loss. Like nonsense. He'll agree. I score on his drive because I surfed his strength 4 by uphilling it with a goblin wrestle, which is 70% odd to get what I wanted really. So it's not horrible, but I got the ball, I scored.
It feels cheeky, doesn't it?
I just had to do a GFI to make it 2-0 in turn 11. Obviously Snake and bollocks.
Oh, right, yeah.
Then he scores twice somehow with Khemri because he fails no pickups and he gets a blitz and everything. It's like, oh my.
2 scores in 1 drive from Khemri.
It's nonsense. It's
I'd love to
dicing.
see it. God damn. And now you're both sitting at the top of 2A right now, I see.
I know, yeah. I really had a great game. I can't wait for it to all go tumbling down like a house of cards. Really. So, that's, well, you know, when you see him next, tell him, you know, BLGF.
He's so nice. I could never say anything nasty to
him. Oh,
him.
No, he's lovely. I mean, in the first game I played with him, he had a hangover, so he was like an hour late, and then he got into voice chat, and we had a chat about the game as we were playing it. It was lovely guy.
I like guys who do that, and actually I sort of like when people are late. It makes me think like, yeah, they're not taking it too seriously. They're just whatever. I'm quite happy for my opponents to be a little bit late most of the time.
Yeah, I know he's like lovely fella. Although every time I play him with my Underworld on CCL as well. I've run into like twice, and he just every time nonsense. But then
he's
again,
kicking your ass, you're saying. Yeah. This is your true rivalry.
True rivalry. True. I also realised I started like flipping through his team for next game. Yeah, this is no longer the 4D recap. This is me looking at someone else's team, having a conversation entirely separate from the recap. I love doing this.
But of great interest to you guys. This is, you could be in the same div as this guy next season, guys.
This is us being human. This is us talking to the masses and being like, come into our lives and enjoy what we say.
Get to know us as people. We're great guys.
We are. But I will say, we'll spare you the chit-chat for now. We'll say goodbye. Auf Wiedersehen. Goodbye. And
Auf Wiedersehen and goodbye.
Yes. What's the Mary Poppins... Not Mary Poppins.
I know what you mean. Farewell, adieu. Auf Wiedersehen, goodbye.
Yeah, it's from the one where... Oh, Sound of Music is where it is, yeah.
I'm not. Yeah, no, I don't even know if I've seen it. It's not something I've watched recently.
No, I haven't. Yeah, oh yeah, Auf Wiedersehen Pet. Yeah, that's what we were referencing. But
one for European listeners.
Oh yeah. By the way, all of our European listeners, as we know, we voted to leave. You know.
Oh, that's true. Brexit means Brexit, guys.
Yeah, Brexit means Brexit. Get them out. Oh god, I've got to stop this, otherwise we're going to get ourselves into trouble with the...
Read the irony in this room, you never know.
Yeah.
Alright.
Right, see you everyone, bye bye.
Bye bye.